So on that 1.5 day 2 second part, we're kind of extending off of what we were doing yesterday. And first is what's called the angle addition postulate. Now, the name of that is not so important. However, the idea of it is important, and I think you guys probably would be able to pick this up fairly quickly. Because our notation, I'm hoping that we can figure out what all this stuff means, okay? It says, given that angle QPS, so that means starting at Q, going to P, going to S. So that is this entire angle here. So given that the entire angle is 157 degrees, so this whole thing here is 157 degrees, we want to try and find each part of it, okay? It's not necessarily cut down the middle, and it definitely doesn't look like it's cut down the middle. However, it is true that, you know, the left part, like this, plus this, has to equal 157. So we're going to use a little algebra here. So the left part is 4x plus 13. Plus the right part, which is 2x minus 18, equals 157. Okay, the two angles added together have to add up to be 157. So in a moment, we're going to solve this guy for x. And once we know what x is, we can then plug it in to find each angle here. So let's go back to the glory days of our algebra. Combining our like terms, I've got 4x plus 2x is 6x. 13 minus 18 will be -5. So 6x minus 5 equals 157. Remember, we're trying to solve for x, right? So now we want to move the 5 over by adding 5 to both sides. So I have 6x equals 162. And so then we're going to divide both sides by 6. So 162 divided by 6, well, we can use our calculators for that. So let's go. Where's my calculator? I guess I would have to download mine again. All right. While that's doing that, what you said it's what? 27. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's cancel that. We don't need that. All right, so x comes out to be 27. Okay. Now, don't forget though, it didn't say find x necessarily. It said find angle QRP and angle RPS. So now I have to plug that 27 in here. So to find angle QPR, which is this angle here, that's 4x plus 13. So I'm going to do 4 times 27 plus 13. So I'm plugging that 27 in for x. All right, so again, we could use our calculator. 4 times 27. Well, 4 times 25 is 100. 4 times 27 would be, very good, 108. So 108 plus 13 is 121 degrees. That is the measure of angle QPR. Ran out of space there. The measure of angle QPR. Okay, now we have to find the measure of angle RPS. So from R to P to S. So that side. So I'm going to do plugging it in here, 2 times 27 minus 18. So 2 times 27 minus 18. So 2 times 27 is 54 minus 18. Very good, which is 36. So the measure of angle RPS is equal to 36 degrees. So a little algebra involved here, right? And by the way, notice 121 plus 36 adds up to be 157, right? So they do add up to be 157. So we had to set up our equation, solve for x, and then plug it back in. 3 steps. Set up our equation, solve for x, and then plug it back in. Now, for example 4, it says using a bisector, find the measure of each angle. Well, if you recall, a segment bisector cut a segment in half. An angle bisector cuts an angle in half. Okay, so that term bisector means that it cuts something in half. So in this case, it says that BD bisects angle ABC. So our letters are messed up here. I'm sorry. So this is our angle bisector. Okay, it cuts the other angles in half. It says that ABD is 35. So I'm sorry that the letters are messed up, but let's say that that angle there is 35 degrees. If it bisects, that means the other angle has to also be 35 degrees. They have to be the same if it's a bisector. Now, if it's not a bisector like the one above it, they don't have to be the same. But if it's a bisector, then it has to cut it directly in half. Any questions yet? All right. Well, then let's look at a couple of examples here. So with these examples, they're not all done one way, but they all have similar ideas. So in the first one, we're trying to find the measure of angle BAD. So first, let's figure out what that is. Means I start at B, I go to A, then I go to D. So that's the entire thing. So to find the measure of the entire thing, well, I'm going to add 31 plus 24. So 31 plus 24 means that the entire angle, or the measure of BAD, is 55 degrees. Okay, we're just adding those up. Now that problem is easier than problem 4 because problem 4 we have those x's in there. We have those variables. But we still could do that. We just have to think it through. If it says that EGH is a straight angle means it makes a straight line here. And remember, that means that they add up to 180 degrees. If it makes a straight line, they have to add up to be 180 degrees. So let's do the 3 steps. Write our equation, solve for x, and then plug it back in. So our equation would be that 2x minus 18 plus 4x has to equal 180. Again, it's a straight angle, so they have to add up to be 180. So now let's solve this for x. So 2x plus 4x is 6x. Minus 18 is 180. Add 18 to both sides. Six x is 198. All right, so help me out with your calculators then. 198 divided by 6. 33. It's going to be, say that again? 32. 32?
33.
33, exactly 33?
I got 32.
Let's see, 198 divided by 6. 6 was in a 19 3 times, so remember this old deal? So subtract those, bring down the 8, and 6 times 3 would be 18. So it would be exactly 18. Okay? Yeah, just check your numbers there, Evelyn. I think maybe use 190, 195. So if x is 18, don't forget we have to plug that in. So to find, what are we trying to find? FGH. So FGH is this side. So I do 4 times 18, which is going to be 72. So the measure of angle FGH equals 72 degrees. Yes. 33. Did I make a mistake?
Yeah, you put.
Oh, thank you so much. I apologize. I put 18 and I should have put 33. I'm sorry, guys. So x is equal to 33. Okay, so notice down at the bottom here, 198 divided by 6 is 33. So now we're going to do 4 times 33. So that will be then 132 degrees. Which would make this, and making sense, make this an obtuse angle here, right? And so even though we can't necessarily just go off of the looks of the angle, they are close. Okay, so if the angle appears to be obtuse, your answer should be an obtuse angle. If the angle appears to be acute, your answer should be an acute angle. All right, problem number 5. Let's do this last one here together. So we have FH bisects EFG. So it doesn't give us a picture, but we could make our own picture. So let's make angle EFG. And I don't know if that is acute or obtuse. So I'm going to write EFG. Now remember, F has to be the vertex, the turning point there. And it says that FH bisects the angle. Okay, so FH bisects the angle. So notice I put those little hoops in there. That means, tells the reader that those two parts are congruent. They have the same measure. So it says that EFH is equal to 42 degrees. So from E to F to H, meaning that top part, is 42 degrees. So drawing a correct picture is really important, but now that I know that that top angle is 42 degrees, well, remember I had the little oops on there, meaning the bottom part has to also be 42 degrees. So the measure of angle GFH is also equal to 42 degrees. That's one of our answers. It also asks us to find the measure of angle EFG. So that's the whole thing. Well, the whole angle then from E to F to G is going to be 42 plus 42, which is 84. So the measure of angle EFG is going to equal 84 degrees. So the hard part about number 5 was being to draw our own picture, right? So just make sure that you're really careful about putting the points in the right spot and labeling it correctly. All right, any questions on that stuff?